In the field of sales, and when you're working with customers or employees, you have to be able to read people's minds and change their mind for them to actually buy something from you or become a great employee for you. So let's talk more about that. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Neil Wintereg, and today I am going to be talking to you about how to change a person's mind. Now, particularly when I'm talking about this, I am going to be using it from a sales perspective, because in sales, that's really kind of what you're trying to do, is you're trying to understand where the person is at, understand where they're trying to go, and then figure out how to get them from point A to point B. You could use this for employees. You could use this for any real scenario that involves talking to somebody. Now, as a business owner, as a salesman, etc., you have to be able to read where a person is at in their thinking process. Okay? Now, what I mean by that is that a person will come to you and say that they need and want your product, and you automatically think, great, I have somebody who's going to buy my product. But the truth of the matter is, their thinking process may or may not actually be up to where the words out of their mouth are coming out of. So you have to be able to decide where a person's really at. Are they ready to buy something now, or are they ready to buy something 5 years from now? And so your job as a salesman is to actually evaluate where the words that are coming out of their mouth are actually coming from. Now, what I mean by that is, I don't know if you can read this or not, but let's say the prospect is here, and to get them to buy something is here. There's a large difference between me saying, yes, I would like to know more about your product. And what I really mean by that is, because in 12 years when I sell my house, I'm going to be able to invest in it. Okay, there's a big gap between the words that are coming out of my mouth and what I actually mean, or what I actually understand. So routinely, as a business consultant or as a person who works with businesses and is selling products to business, I have to be able to establish if the words that are coming out of the person's mouth actually mean that they want to buy something, or that they're all the way over here. And I have to evaluate what it's going to take to get them from where they're at to there. Now, that could be 10 minutes. It could be 3 hours. It could be never. And so you have to figure out how to change the person's mind. Okay? The person has decided that they're going to buy something from you in 3 years. Okay. You want them to buy it now. Okay? And you know that what you have is good for the person to have now. I am not the salesperson who sells crap to people that they don't need. I always look at it from the viewpoint of, how can I help them do better? Okay? So I am going to look at it and I'm going to say, okay, this is where they're at. This is where I need them to be. What do I have to do to get them to understand that today is the right time? Well, first things first, they have to understand that what they have right now is not going to last as long as they think it's going to last. Let's say you're selling them an air conditioner or equipment of some sort or whatever, and they go, well, no, that's only 10 years old. I should get another. I read on Google that you can get 20 years out of one of those. Okay, so I have to get them first to understand that what they have is not what they think that they have. So I have to ask questions and go over information to get them to that point. Okay, that's going to take me 20 minutes. Okay, these diagrams are going to start getting weird. The next thing I have to get them to understand is that point number 2 is, yes, the old equipment that they have, not only do they need this, but the second thing that they also need is also going to have to be replaced. Okay, that's going to take me this much time, and then I have to get them all the way to here. So you have to establish where it's going to take to get that guy to understand that the air conditioner that he has right now is not going to last as long as he thinks it is. So this guy tells you, yes, my air conditioner is going to last another 10 years. You, as the air conditioning expert, know that that is not true. Okay, how do I get this guy to understand that or to see that? Okay, how long is that going to take? Okay, I might say something along the line of, well, you know, sometimes they can get 20 years out of them, but let's be honest. In Florida, the heat, the salt air, you and I both know nothing's going to last 20 years sitting outside. If he goes, yeah, I guess you're probably right. Okay, I have now made it to step 1. Now I have to get him to step 2. Say, yep, you know, building regulations have changed, and unfortunately, I can't get this piece for that piece anymore, so we have to replace both of them. How long is that going to get me to take for him to understand? And so you have to walk them through it. But you see, you have to do it in such a way that the person is making up their own mind every step of the way as if it was their idea, in a sense. So you didn't say, hey, Joe, you're wrong. No air conditioner is going to last 20 years. You said, yeah, well, with this climate and this weather, it's very hard to get something to last 20 years. Okay, you're planting the seed. You're letting him to see that maybe his Google search was not as accurate as it might be. And you are now letting him to understand that maybe there is a problem that is there. But what I want you to understand is that every time you're interacting with somebody, there's a starting point and an ending point of where you're trying to get them. Now, for some people, it's very quick. It's just like that. Okay, I used to sell a consulting service, and I used to go around the United States, and I would talk to business owners, and my goal was to sit down with the best people in the room that were the best prospects in the room and sign them up for our services. And sometimes I couldn't decide who was the best person in the room or who I should meet with because I only got so much time each day to meet with so many people. So when I had 2 or 3 people that all looked like they were good prospects, I had to figure out in the short amount of time that I had who was going to be the easiest to close. And so sometimes I would go up to people and I'd say, hey, just so you know, it looks like you're getting along great, but I just want you to understand that for us to train you, it's going to cost X amount of dollars, and you're going to have to come to our office X amount of times. That's all I would say. Because what I'm trying to do is find out, going back to my other diagram, where are they and where is the sale? And so based off of their reactions from that, I could then decide whether this was going to be something very, very quick. Some people would go, yeah, that sounds about right. Hey, you know what? My brother lives in that part of Florida. I could even stay with him. Okay. How easy do you think of a sale that's going to be? It's going to be pretty easy, okay? But then the next person's like, ooh, that's a lot of money. I'd really have to figure something like that out. I'll wait till the end of the day and I'll let you know. I haven't even started the sales process. But what I'm doing is I am gauging how far it's going to take me to close them. So here's the next diagram I want you to look at. The blue line, A to B, easy sale. Red line, we're going to go around a little bit. We're going to get to the sale. I know I can change that person's mind. The green line is going to go all over the place before I can finally change that person's mind. Guess who I'm not talking to? I'm not talking to the green line, okay? Poor salesmen who can't change another person's mind or get that person to see that they need what they have will follow this green guy around for days, weeks, months, years, and never get a sale because they have not identified that the words that are coming out of that person's mouth are not actually representative of what they actually think and feel. So your job in changing a person's mind, quite honestly, is all about risk assessment. How long is it going to take for me to get this guy to see what I see about him? That's what's important. If I can't help somebody, I will not say, I'm sorry, you are failure, I can't do anything for you. I will say, you know what? It just sounds like you got quite an interesting situation there. Maybe when things die down in your life, you can come back and we'll help you. And they go off and they're happy, okay? But somebody like this in the blue or the red, I'm going to sit there and I am going to work with them and I'm going to talk to them and I'm going to put hours into getting them to understand and seeing the cause of their problems. And when you get them to see the real cause of the problems, they will sign up or buy something from you. So when I say you're changing a person's mind, what I actually mean is that you're trying to figure out where they're at, where they have to be to buy something from you, and what will it take for you to get them across the finish line. And to do that, you have to ask very direct, pointed questions and get that person to understand and know what you know about their problem. Because if you're a salesman, you are solving somebody's problem. And you have to understand that person's problem. And then you have to ask enough questions to understand what the problem is that they want you to solve for them. And then when you understand that problem as if you were them, you then impart the knowledge and understanding that you know about that problem to them to bring them across the finish line. And you're dealing with their mind at that point. You are changing a person's mind and getting them to decide for themselves that they want help and that they want to do something about it. and never take credit for the sale. It's always the prospect who changed their own mind, and they'll be very happy knowing that they changed their mind and it was their idea all along that your product was going to work for them. And if you can do that, you will change people's minds and you will be a screaming success in the field of sales. So I hope you found this helpful. I'd love to hear more from you down below. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and we'll see you next time.